Hello everyone! Welcome to the EarthtonesGirl channel and Vlogmas 2023. Hello everybody! I am so excited and thrilled to bits to be here with you to celebrate Vlogmas. I have attempted this a couple of times in the past and I've tried the everyday and it was a little overwhelming, and then I think the last 2 weeks I've tried to do the once a week and still a little overwhelming, but I'm going to give it a try again this year, and lots of things have changed, and I have a lot to share with you over the next few weeks. So in case you missed my last episode, I have decided to post episodes, Vlogmas episodes, weekly because it's easier for me to manage. I think it's easier for people to watch. Yeah, and it just doesn't feel, I don't feel so stressed and pressured to produce a video every day. This is just going to work, I think, a lot better for me and my lifestyle. So why am I here? Yes, there's Vlogmas and I'm doing Vlogmas, but why do people do Vlogmas? What is it? It is basically for those who don't know, Vlogmas is basically daily to weekly, whatever works for you, vlogs, traditionally daily, vlog episodes, video logs of your day during the month of December / holiday season. It's not based on any particular faith or belief system. It is just a way of sharing your life with your viewers. And that is what I'm here to do. My main reason for doing this, aside from having lots of fun things to share, is to give myself a little oasis, a little break from, let's choose our words carefully, from the intensity and challenging nature of the holiday season. I find it can be very intense. It's great for some people. It's really not so great for others, and for a host of reasons. And so I want to give myself a little oasis and a little respite during this season, but I also wanted to provide that for you. I wanted to give you a place to maybe escape to for a few minutes a day, a few minutes you can watch this all in one sitting. You can watch little bits and pieces throughout the week and hold you over to the next episode. However you want to do it, it's just to give you a few minutes off from what is happening day to day. So that is my main reason for being here. Yes, now, traditionally, if you are in the fiber world and the making world, you can share your projects, you can share your gift knitting, you can share your advents, which mine are all piled up right over there. So I will be sharing those with you in just a minute. And for me, it's just I don't do a lot of gift knitting there. I've said it. And a lot of people use the word selfish knitter. I've never used that term. I don't consider myself a selfish knitter, and I honestly don't like the term. I don't know why enjoying making for just yourself is considered selfish. To me, selfish has a negative connotation to it. It's a word that means you're only thinking about yourself in a way to get ahead, in a way to get over on people, in a way to for you to gain, but while others lose. that is so not the case. And yes, I could look up the actual definition, but we don't need that. That is absolutely not the case. If you choose to make for yourself, yay for you. That I think that's amazing. As a mother, as a wife, as a homemaker, as all of those things, a member of the PTA at two schools, working on the micro business, a YouTube channel, all of these things. For me to take a few minutes a day, maybe even many minutes, wink, wink, a day where I am just making something for myself, there is nothing wrong with that. That is my self-care. That is my way of easing myself, of comforting myself, of making myself happy. Whatever the day needs, that is what my making provides for me. So it's the holiday season. Do I have to make socks, hats, mittens, hand warmers, scarves, cowls? Do I have to make those things for the people in my life? No. No, I don't. Have I done that in the past? Yes, I have. I think the first year I started knitting, I made so many things for, I think I made something for everybody in my family, my side and my then at the time boyfriend's side, who's now my husband. And it was, oh my gosh, that's so great. Thank you so much. And in many cases, I never saw the thing again. Not that you have to wear it all the time, but here's where that word knit worthy comes into play. Are the people that you are making for really going to love what you're doing, really going to appreciate what you're doing? Are they going to understand the time and sometimes blood, sweat, and tears that go into a thing? Sometimes and sometimes not. So again, it's not about selfish. It's about just doing more, which is a recurring theme on my channel, just doing more of what makes me happy, and my making makes me happy. And yeah, I actually, though, in this episode, all of that said, I am making a pair of socks for my sister, which I will share with you in a little bit. Now, I can't share these on Instagram because we follow each other and she'll see them and I want them to be a surprise, because of the name of the colorway, and I'll explain that in just a bit. But so I will share those with you in just a little bit. But let's talk about Advents right now. Let's just get to the fun stuff. So what are Advent skeins? What are Advent calendars? We have them in all areas, again, of our lives. Um, excuse me. And I shouldn't say all areas of our life. That's the wrong thing. But I know for my children, an advent calendar could be a chocolate calendar, and they're opening one little box, one little window every morning or every evening, depends, and they eat that one little piece of chocolate, and it's a way of counting down. And Advent is a way of counting down to Christmas or to whatever holiday you are celebrating. For us, it is Christmas, and for fiber people, for myself, we Advents are traditionally 24 to 25 skein, mini skein calendars that you get, beautiful sets, kits, boxes, however they are shipped to you, that you get, and you open one mini every day. And a lot of people knit with them in real time. There's a lot of different projects, and I'll list to a couple of projects in the description box below. You can make socks or traditional, not traditional, I keep using that word, but more what you see more of people doing with Advents. You can do mittens, you can do blankets. A lot of people make blankets. Shawls, I see a lot of minis go into shawls, and I'm not a shawl maker, I'm not a blanket maker. So I tend to use my minis for socks and for hand warmers, for mittens, things like that. You can also, I made a really, really, I think I can say this, I loved it. I thought it was an absolutely beautiful cowl last year with a Downton Abbey themed advent calendar that I had gotten a couple of years ago, and from Ken and Hand Dyed, and I enjoyed every minute of that. And those minis sat for a really long time before I decided what I wanted to do with them. I had a gorgeous one last year from 6 and 7 Fibers that was literary themed, and it was all female writers, female authors and writers, Sometimes the colorway was for the author herself. Sometimes it was for a book or a poem or something she had written. And I think aside from the Downton Abbey, that may, in terms of minis, that may have been one of my favorites, one of my all-time favorites. That just touched me so much. And it's still there. It's actually sitting right over there on the other side of this camera. I just haven't decided what to do with it yet. And I don't feel any rush to decide what to do with it. So that said, this year, now I can go a little crazy with my Advents. I really can. I have purchased many at a time to the point where they start arriving and I don't even remember that I ordered. Terrible, I know. I'm very fortunate to be able to do that. So that said, I tried very hard to scale back this year. I only have one 24 Skein, 24 mini Skein Advent this year, and that is by Knotty Pine Company, Knotty Pine, Pine Company. And unfortunately, it is not here yet. Today, oh, if I didn't say it, today is Sunday, December 3rd. I will be posting my Advents, my Vlogmas episodes on Sundays. But anyways, this is the first Sunday of Advent. And if you are celebrating, happy first Sunday of Advent. I should have said this all in the beginning, but it's okay. And unfortunately, it is not here yet. Kayla, poor Kayla, oh my goodness. In the grand scheme of things, is it important that it's not here yet and that it's Sunday, December 3rd? No, it's not at all. She had some shipping issues, and some of the Advents were delayed in getting out. Do I care? No. Do I know it will be 100% beautiful and worth the wait? Yes. Will I be knitting on any of those minis right now? No, not at all. I'm just going to open them and share them with you and love them and maybe pet them and snuggle with them. But will I actually be knitting with any of them right now? No. And that's absolutely okay. So I think according to the shipping information, it is supposed to come by the end of the day today. So I will share that with you next Sunday and I'll open up until next Sunday and I'll show you those. In the meantime, I did order, let me just check my notes. I think I ordered 3. I have 4 more. I know I said I was easing up. You're probably like, really? That's going easy? So I have my 24 mini Skein one, and then I also have a 4 Sundays to be opened. So I have a 4 Sunday Advent calendar, and that's by Legacy Fiber Arts. Sue and Chelsea, who are the geniuses and ladies, mother and daughter. Sue is the mother, Chelsea is the daughter. Brilliant team behind that company, that dyeing company. They have a very, very special place in my heart. I love them to death. And last year I went with their 4 Sundays of Advent and I fell in love with the colorways. I'll share some pictures in here for you. And I actually knit them over the summer. They're all mini sets. They're 50-gram mini sets. So the main color is 50 grams and the mini is 20. So sorry, I hope you can't hear. My dog is barking for some reason. I'm sorry. Oh, he's really barking. Anyway, those were all last year's and I just knit them over the summer. I made shorties out of all of them and the colorways didn't matter. The names of the colorways didn't matter so much. They were just so wonderful and comforting to knit. So I did get one this year and I'm going to show you, right, let me just reach into my little, so all of my Advents are here right now with the exception of the 24 mini. So let me see if I can pick this up and not show you right away. Okay. So I opened today's. If you don't want spoilers, if you have the Legacy Fiber Arts Advent, look away now. If you have the 4 Sundays of Advent and you don't want to see what today's colorway is, please look away now. I am going to share it. It is, oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous. Okay, I'll show you and then I'll tell you the name. Are you ready? All right, 3, 2, 1. Last chance to look away. Oh my goodness, look at that. Just, oh, look. So incredibly beautiful. And the name of this colorway, can you see that? The name of this colorway is Twinkle's Tea House. I don't know why that just makes me giggle. It really does. So Chelsea, so you're amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing. Yes, I love, again, if you've been following the channel for a while, you know that I absolutely love my self-striping. But Sue is the dyer of Legacy Fiber Arts, and her colorways are just magical. Just, oh my gosh, look at that. Look at that. Doesn't that look like a Twinkle's Tea House? I mean, I think it does. Anyway, so this is the first Sunday of their calendar. So let's put that there. Now, there's, like I said, there's 3 more. What I also have, and I'm a tad, I don't want to say reluctant to share those. I have the Cozy Knitter, Freckled Whimsy, and Woolens Nosh. Now, let's do Freckled Whimsy first. Let me reach in here. Where's the mini? Yeah, okay. So here's the mini. So Freckled Whimsy, I don't know this for a fact, but as far as I know, I think that the Cozy Knitter, Christine, who is based in Canada, I think she was one of the first dyers to do a 24 stripe advent. And so basically there's 24 stripes, and the goal with the 24 stripe skein is to knit a stripe a day. I don't have that much self-control. I really don't. Once I start, I'm just going to keep going. So the next one that I saw do that was, and I have hers, I think earlier this year, I shared, when she announced that the new skein was coming out for this year, I have all of them. I have the past 5 years, and I shared a picture of those. I'll put that in here for you. And it's just, they're all so beautiful. And I know she changed it up this year. She had a different idea in mind. So I'm for those of you who have the skein, I'm a little hesitant to show you what it looks like because I don't want it to give anything away. So suffice to say that I do have it. It is there. The Freckled Whimsy I can show you because it's not really wound up yet, so it's a little harder to see the colors. But this is the Freckled, oh wait, I didn't do a spoiler, sorry. If you don't want to see it, look away now. Look away, look away, look away. So here is the Freckled Whimsy, and she also does a, hers is 24 stripes also. So here is hers. Oh my goodness, look at this. Look at that. So here is the main skein. Just gorgeous. And she has this beautiful sort of brown, chocolate brown mini to go with it. And it's just so lovely. I actually, a little later in the episode, I'm going to show you my FOs, and I will show you the, I just finished knitting her 2022 Advent skein. So I'll show you that. But yes, this is this year's, and I can't wait. I haven't even wound it up yet because sometimes I don't like winding my skeins too far in advance and letting them sit, although I do wind my skeins twice. Why do I do that? I wind, so I unravel them. So I would unravel this. I take the label off, I would open it up, which I'm not going to do yet, but I would open this up and put it on my winder and start winding. That first winding can wind a little tight on the skein. Is it tight enough to break the yarn? Absolutely not. Oh, I hope the light is still okay in here. I think a cloud's going by outside. But anyway, the first round can be a little tight. Again, not tight enough to break the yarn, absolutely not, but it's just a little snug. So in my experience, I find the yarn can be on the stretch. So it's just a little bit of the elasticity is being used or taken up in that winding. So again, the yarn feels like it's on the stretch. So what I do is I wind it again. So I wind my skeins twice, and that second winding, I have a lot more control over the tension as the yarn goes through my fingers. So the yarn skein itself comes out so much bigger and fluffier. It's amazing the difference between winding number 1 and winding number 2. Maybe in the next episode, I'll try to include a picture of that for you to see what the difference is. Because I know some of you are like, well, show me. I want to know what that difference looks like. So yes, I will show you. So anyway, so I don't want to show you the, what don't I want to show? I don't want to show you the Cozy Knitter because again, I wound it this morning and the colors are just, oh my gosh, Christine, if you're watching, you have hit it completely out of the park. I mean, home run. It is just gorgeous, but I feel like showing it will give a little bit of it away. I'm going to be knitting it. It's all wound and ready to be cast on. So trust me, I'll show you over the next few weeks what that looks like. But what I also have that I want to show you is the Advent Skein by Woolens Nosh. Now, for those of you who are familiar, Woolens Nosh did, oh, it's so dark in here right now, but I'm going to keep going. Woolens Nosh, Michelle, who is the dyer, Michelle is the dyer that I collaborated with for both of my colorways. And I have gotten her Advent the last 2 years. This is the 3rd year. And she is actually incredibly brilliant with how she presents her skein. She presents them in these bags. So this is the 3rd year of these bags. So what you get, is that coming into focus? Yeah, there we go. There we go. So you get this beautiful bag. It's a small tote bag. Let me pull back or hold it against me so you can see perspective. It's a relatively small tote bag. And what she does is she has the skein already wound and feeding through. It snaps in the middle. So the bag has a snap right here in the middle. And she has the cakes already wound up. They're one here and one here. And then here are the minis. She gives you 2 minis, so you cast on your minis, and then, oops, I'm dropping, hold on. I'm excited, I'm dropping my yarn. Sorry about that. So she gives you the 2 minis, you've got your bag, it's all prepped and ready to go. Oh my gosh, how brilliant is that? So she's got you all set so you can cast on, and a lot of people, many people, I know a lot do, and I've done this in the past also, a lot of people will cast on the days leading up to December 1st, and then they'll cast on December 1st and from the bag, so they're all ready to go. I didn't do that yet, but again, it's okay. It's December 3rd, but it's really okay. There is time to knit all of these. So this is how the Woolens Nosh calendar arrives in the mail. Oh my gosh. So that is also sitting there waiting to be worked on. Yeah, I think those are all of my Advents. So again, I will be sharing my progress. I don't want to spoil the colorways for anybody, so I will try to give little spoiler warnings if you don't want to see them completely knit up. And for those of you that do, just keep watching. So yeah, let's talk about some FOs because I do have some finished socks to share with you. So I do have some FOs for you. I think my last 2 episodes, they were really short because I did a giveaway. So there weren't any. And then I did the Rhinebeck recap. For those of you who watched that, thank you so much. But I didn't share any knitting, and I actually have 3 completed pairs of socks to share with you. I tried getting a little bit more light in here, so I hope that's okay. But here is my first pair. They're a shorty pair, and these 2 of the 3 are finished skeins from the Falling Leaves sock cal. So here is the first set, or the first pair. And they look a little bit dark, again, because it's a little dark in here, but I hope you can still see them. So this is my No Fear Shorty sock pattern, and what I did was a modification with the heel. So let's talk about the yarn because it's absolutely gorgeous. The yarn is Equinox, and it's on her tweed base by Nomadic yarn. And oh my goodness, the contrasting mini is very chocolatey that I had in my skein, and it's Malabrigo sock. So I just did the cuff and the toe in the Malabrigo sock. And with this particular pair of socks, I decided to do a afterthought heel because I didn't want to break up the striping. So I did an afterthought heel, but I decided to do a garter stitch afterthought heel. So instead of just knitting every round like you normally would in the round. I just knit a row and purled a row just to see what it would look like. And that's what it did. I don't think I've talked about these yet. Did I talk about these yet? I don't think I did. Anyway, but yes, so I finished these and love them. So these will be put down and kept for next season. But that is one FO for you. And I got the idea to do the garter stitch heel because somebody in the comments just asked if you could, can you do that? Asked me if that was possible. And I thought, well, I've never done it, but I'm sure that it is. So let's give it a go. So here is my second pair. Da, 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 da. Also this is also another pair from the Falling Leaf Sock Cal, which was really, really wonderful this year. I think everyone had a really great time. Very, very successful. So here's my second completed pair. Let's pull back a little so you could see them. And then I'll zoom in. Again, the colors are kind of dark, you guys. I'm so sorry I'm losing the light here a little bit. But here we go. And this colorway is called Evermore. And I actually knit these 2 at a time. I'll put a picture in here for you. And there's times when I love knitting socks 2 at a time, and other times when I just want to do them 1 at a time. But 2 at a time, I did these in a matter of days. These went so quickly, and I feel like there's times when I think my mojo, or whatever the word is what's the word? Stronger, I guess. Like I tend to knit slowly sometimes and don't even realize how slowly I can be knitting. And then other times I feel like socks are flying off the needles, and I really feel like these flew off the needles. So I loved these so, so much. Oh wait, is it brightening a little? Ugh, wishful thinking. Anyway, yeah, so these are again, this colorway is Evermore, and it's the same dyer that did this colorway. Same dyer, but this is just on her merino nylon sock base. So 75% merino and 25% nylon. And I used, it didn't come with a mini. This was a 50-gram skein, or I had 2 50s, and I used a colorway. This is called Nude-Gat for the contrast. It's Nude-Gat, Nude-Gat by Mitchell's Creations Fiber Arts. I'll link to her down below. But it's just that perfect, it matched so perfectly with this cream colored stripe. And I just went diving in my stash and found it and absolutely love it. It is my Soxploration pattern, 64 stitches, and a shadow wrap short row heel. And that's it. And I was pretty spot on with getting the stripes to match because I'm a little obsessive about that. So there you go. I am going to pause for a second and see if I can pull out a ring light because it is just so incredibly dark right now. So sorry if there's a little inconsistency in this episode, but I really want to keep going and it is just getting way too dark in here. So I'll be right back. Hi everybody, I am back. So I'm so disappointed. The light kind of faded on me quickly, and while I have a ring light, it is so glaringly bright and not something that I use on a regular basis. So it's just looking a little bit blown out. So I'm gonna just try to wrap this up for today. Maybe it's the universe telling me I've been talking for too long, but I'm going to wrap it up. I tried changing the angle of the camera a bit to see if I could get a wee bit more light in the room. Let's see, let's try one other thing. Ooh, maybe that'll work. Hang on, you know what? Let's see if this works. Hang on. A little bit better. Not really. Okay, I am just going to wrap it up then. So, because I really wanted to talk about anatomical toes. So, I'll put some other footage in here so you could see them a little bit better. Because again, the video is not going, this is just so dark right now. But anyway, so my third pair of socks are the 2022 Advent Skein by Freckled Whimsy. And here they are. Oh my goodness, look at those. Actually, it's not looking too bad. That's pretty true to color right now. So take a look at that. Aren't they gorgeous? Oh my goodness, these were such a delight to knit, and I used the mini that it came with. So this was last year's, and again, absolutely beautiful. And what I did, Soxploration pattern, shadow wrap short row heel, but for the toes on these are a little bit different, and that's what I want to talk about briefly here. I might do a separate episode so that I can talk about these in more detail, maybe an episode in between today and next Sunday, so I can go into them a little more. Let's pause for a moment though and talk about this. This is one of those things where I'm suddenly losing the light and the video isn't looking so great, but I'm thinking to myself, at the end of the day, does it, oops, where's my, oh, I'm thinking to myself, at the end of the day, does it really matter? Or is it just about sitting here and sharing for a little bit? Because this could send me into a tizzy right now, but instead of reacting, I'm going to respond by wrapping up my episode relatively soon, because again, the light is failing. But things like this, it's just, life throws you a curveball and you just have to roll with it. So let me just talk this through really quick, but I will do, trust me, I'm going to record another episode for you guys just to talk about these toes, because it's really, really, I'm so fascinated by this, and talking about it for a brief moment is not going to do it justice at all. But what I did for these socks was I knit anatomical toes. So here is what I did. Can you all see? There we go. That's pretty good. Can you see that? So there's actually a left foot and a right foot. And it's just, how is this done? This is done by where you start the decreases and only doing decreases on one side. So let's say that again. I'm only going to hold up one sock for a moment. Basically what you're doing is you are, instead of decreasing on both sides of the sock for the toe, the majority of my decreases are going to be on one side until I reach a certain number of stitches. Then I'm going to round off the top by doing just a few rapid decreases on the other side, on both sides at the same time. So you start with just one side, then you're going to stop, and right about here, you're going to now do them on both sides every round to get a slightly rounded off top. Now, I had somebody, when I posted these on Instagram, they said, well, how do you get rid of those corners, like these little corners? When you put this sock on, you don't see any of that. It really completely disappears. And again, this is why I want to do a proper episode just on this, because I think it will, I'm not doing it proper justice here. But again, what you're doing is just doing the decreases on one side. So for the left, I do them on one side, then I start with the other. Now, when I knit my socks, here's the back. So this is what's usually facing me. My needle 1 is my sole of the foot. My needle 2 is the instep. Many patterns have you knit with the needle 1 has the instep, needle 2 has the sole or bottom of the foot. I like to do mine the other way. Why? Because that's just the way I've done it. Is one way right versus wrong? Absolutely not. It's just how I've always done it. So when I started the sock for this one, which is the right foot, when I started, the sole, so the heel, was facing me as I'm knitting, and I knit across the front of the sock, started the decreases on this side. So I did an SSK, I did a knit 2 together to get it to lean right, and then when I turned, I did an SSK, and I did that every other round 10 times, okay? So I did a decrease round and a knit round, a decrease round and a knit round, and I did that 10 times for a total of 20 rounds. Once I got to that point, then I started knitting the decreases on both sides every round. And that is what gave me this shaping. So again, for this particular sock, I started knitting on this side, okay? I knit across and I did the shaping at the end of my needle 1, which was the sole of my sock. For this sock, what I did, this is the left sock. So what I did here with it, with the heel facing me, I started with the decrease. Instead of doing the decrease on the end on this one, I started with the decrease on this one. Does that make sense? And again, I'm going to go over this again in much more detail. And I'm also going to, in a separate video, I'm also going to actually give you that formula of exactly what rounds to knit, the actual instructions. I'm going to put all of that in the description box for you below. So this episode is coming to a very abrupt end because I did want to share, as I said in the beginning, a pair of socks that I'm knitting for my sister. So maybe I'll do another one. I got to do another episode between now and next Sunday because this is just awful. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I am so grateful to you for joining me today. Sorry about the lighting issues. I hope you enjoyed this episode despite the little speed bump. Take a deep breath. Try your best with whatever you have to enjoy each day. And I will see you all again very, very soon. Another full Vlogmas episode will be next Sunday, December 10th, but there will be one in between so that I can go into more detail on that sock. It's called an anatomical toe. We will talk about that in a little bit more detail. And I will also talk about my current work in progress. Thanks so much for joining me today, everybody. You're all amazing. And I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye, everyone. Happy Vlogmas!